Howdy. I'm out here, standing out here in 26-degree weather to bring you this video. Not a lot of it, but there is snow, and it is freezing cold, so I'm going to try to make this as quickly as I can. So yeah, let's get right into it. Number 5 is going to be the 1953 Buick Skylark by Welly. Even though this is a Welly, it's not the greatest of quality, like the other Wellys. This thing is like the epitome of cheap. You see here, the hood does not open all the way. It opens like at a 45-degree angle. You can't even see the engine inside if you wanted to, or hardly. I mean, look at that. That's all you get. And then on top of that, the engine is just complete garbage. It's cheap plastic. It probably cost them 1 cent to make. Another thing, the doors are like super thin, cheap, and snappy like that. Some people like snappy. I personally think it makes a model look cheap or feel cheap. But yeah, that's another feature in there. If you look at the interior, you can see it's made up of cheap plastic, like especially the steering wheel. This isn't even metal in the middle there. The middle ring in the steering wheel. Usually, like on old Welly models, that would be either a chrome plastic or a metal, but this is just like thin, matte, gray metal. Yeah, overall, definitely would not recommend it. I give it like a 5 out of 10 maybe. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but definitely not something I'd recommend. So keep that one in mind. Number 4 is going to be the Motormax Pagani Huayra Roadster. I got this one off of Fairfield Collectibles. It was like $10, which justifies the quality, but only the doors open here. The seats are, you know, they rock back and forth a little bit. See, Motormax is like a hit or miss with every model they have. It's either extremely cheap and crappy, or it's pretty good quality. And I've gotten some pretty good quality Motormax vehicles, and I've been happy with them. And then sometimes you order, I mean, it was $10, but sometimes you get something like this, and it's just a waste of money. So everything about it is cheap. Like, it's super light. First of all, you can see the bottom is, there's no detail on the bottom. It feels like all cheap plastic inside. It's probably hollow on the inside. And then the seats are made out of like cheap plastic. The gloss, whatever the metal, this doesn't even feel like die cast. It feels like plastic, the green part of it, the body. So yeah, definitely not a good quality vehicle. I would give this one like a 3 out of 10 personally. This is pretty bad. I would not recommend buying it at all. Number 3, I do not have with me because I sold it. It's going to be the 1/24th scale Toyota Camry that I got from AliExpress. I did a video on this. That was my very first video. It was an unboxing / review, and I gave it a good score, I think. But you know, having it for months, I saw all the flaws and whatever. It was absolute garbage. Like I said, it's my first video. If you want to go check that out, I mean, it's right there. Go check it out. But it was like $20 too. I would definitely not recommend buying that at all. But I would give this one like a 5 out of 10. The doors were super thin. There were scratches all over the body. Yeah, I would not buy that one at all. Number 2, I do have with me, and that is the Welly Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. This one I got at a local Rite Aid. This is garbage. I mean, I wish I never bought this. I'm actually selling it right now because I don't want this in my sight at all. When you first pick it up, it's extremely light. It's basically the Buick Skylark with a different shell. There's cheap plastic everywhere. Under the hood, I don't know if you can see that. That's, oh my god. It makes me angry. I freaking hate this thing so much. I don't know what Welly's been doing recently. If they like changed up their materials, or if, I mean, they're just going downhill everywhere. The doors here, like you can push in the window, It's not supposed to, obviously, but it's so cheaply made that you can on both sides. It's like not glued at the top or something. So you get a window you can push in like that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the freaking engine is hollow, matte plastic. The doors open, but they don't stay open very well. Like, you see that? I don't know if you can see that there. You put it up and it like comes down a little bit. They're super thin. Yeah. Oh God, my hands are so cold I can't even open the door. But yeah, there you go. The hood, if it doesn't stay open. You can't even display it like this because it'll just fall like that. So definitely want to get rid of this one as soon as possible. I am selling it. I'll put the link in the description if you want to buy it. But yeah, I would give that one like a 2 out of 10. Honestly, this is one of the worst cars I've ever seen. And number 1, the Motormax Saleen S7 in 1/18th scale. This was a huge disappointment. I got it. I didn't even know what a Saleen S7 was, but it was $20 on Fairfield Collectibles. So I was like, hey, why not? It's a cheap 118 and it looks nice. So I bought it. And yeah, I can definitely see why it was $20 as opposed to like the other $40 118s on Fairfield, which is like the usual price for a 118 that you can find on there. But I mean, this one's just crap. So I'll show you why. I'll give you a walk around real quick. There you go. Yep. Number 1 flaw. These doors do not stay up. Know why? Because they were made with absolute garbage plastic at the top here. And then whatever the heck this is, it's some cheap plastic. It's supposed to hold the door open, but it doesn't, obviously. You can't like display it with the doors open because they'll just fall down like that. And that's the case with both of these doors, actually. It's like painted plastic up top. The rest of the body is die cast. Now granted, it is cheap die cast, but at least it's die cast. This could have been a decent car if this was metal up here. Yeah. The rest of this is cheap. Like this hood doesn't even stay up very well. You have to kind of push it up a lot to get it to stick. The detail is okay. I will give them that. And one thing I thought was cool about this is that this back window comes up and then also this trunk comes up. So that's pretty cool, I thought. It's the first car I've ever seen that does that. Yeah. If you open the trunk first, you won't be able to open the window just because it'll crack. And this is also made out of like super cheap plastic, the window there. So you definitely don't want that to crack. Yeah. Overall, it feels very cheap, and then it also is very cheap. It looks cheap. Even the paint job up here, it's very cheap paint on top. It's like almost a layer of plastic. It's like plastic paint on top. It is metallic, but it doesn't look good. It's like a crappy orange metallic. So that one also, oh shoot. This is one I would definitely never recommend. Definitely stay away from this one. The detail is good, I'll admit, but you don't want the quality. I would find maybe one by Welly or Maisto if they make one. I'm not exactly sure. Or like Birago if they make one. Or any one of those high quality 118 manufacturers. But the Motormax, definitely stay away from this one. Because this is an automatic regret as soon as you see it. So, yeah, there you go. There are 5 cars I would definitely not recommend. This one, I didn't give it a rating. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10. But still don't buy it because it's trash. So, see you. No!